There we go. Let's get our Facebook folks in here. We can start our Tuesday evening show. Oh man, Carl, I am excited. The last Tuesday show before we kick off the regular season. We got one Facebook group going, 1 and 2. Give it a second to breathe. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. It is Tuesday evening, the 2nd of September. I am Nick Kendell, joined by Carl Dumler. Carl, we did it. This is the last show until we actually have real, live, meaningful Denver Broncos football. I love doing the shows with Eric, of course. I love all the stuff I did with Scott, but very happy to open this drink, if you will, with you as we are about to kick off some real football in the Broncos 2025 season.
I was thinking about it earlier today. I was doing some little watching of the Titans, getting prepared for that game. And I'm like, man, this feels like the old days of Nick and I, like having these long pages of notes, doing our pre-recorded shows and really breaking down opponents. And, we don't go as depth as maybe we used to because we like to talk with you guys in the chat. If you guys have questions about things that are going on in the game, matchups, those kind of things, we'd love to talk to you about that. But, those were the good old days where we broke down game film and just really got to the nitty gritty details, got the little statistics, all those kind of things. Although this one's a little tougher. Rookie quarterback had, I think, like 19 plays in preseason or something like that. So there's not a whole lot to go off of, but still, it's fun to be able to talk about the upcoming opponent, what we expect, all those kind of things with all you guys, and loving seeing all the members here in the chat. Man, that's looking nice. So appreciate everyone coming in that way and getting signed up. And I'm excited, man. Football season's back. Got a little glimpse of it with college football this last week. Some crazy upsets. Sorry to you Buffs fans that are in here. But, we'll see. They're going to start. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough one. And they're going to be playing their true freshman quarterback this week. So maybe a little more hope moving forward. Yeah. But we have a lot of hope heading into this Broncos season.
Yeah, absolutely. It gives me hope. David Youngkin joining us as becoming a YouTube member. Great to see you. Yeah, so many members in here today. Good to see you. Talking about the depth chart, I love how David always just jumps in. Barron is not listed as an official starter. He's going to get snaps, but I definitely am a little bit disappointed, but it's not the end-all, be-all. I'm not going to make a mountain out of a molehill about him not being a starter, but it is, not what you want with the first-round pick, but speaks out. Maybe Jaquan McMillan took a big step forward. We're going to find out. And also happy for Riley Moss as well. And as Doug says, another member coming in here, you'll still see plenty of Barron. And Eric and I yesterday, we did some bold predictions. And one of my bold predictions was the Broncos are the league leader, if not one of the top teams in the league in dime personnel. That's a double whammy because I like the 4 cornerbacks, but also I don't trust the health of the linebackers. So what do you do if you don't have your top linebackers and you got a lot of defensive backs you like? You play dime. So it's still going to be plenty of reps to go around. Good to see you. We got Mike Thompson in the house. Hey, friends, Sunday starts the first of 3 major league championships coming to Denver. Oh, my goodness. Talk about bold takes. That's you should have been there Monday morning, Mike. I don't know if you were, but that's pretty amazing. Good to see you. Doug also says Kay Adams show is great today. Always love Kay. We got Dave Papa Bear coming in here. Great to see you. He says 13-4 plus. Good evening, Broncos country. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. We really do appreciate you, Papa Bear. Always love you. You are one of the big time members of our show, along with Michael Ronquillo coming in. And you guys let us know if you like the font, if it's coming through this way. I think it pops pretty well, but I'm in a college football state of mind. It says, good evening, Nick and Carl. I'm building the Broncos. Go Bo Broncos. Great to see you, Michael. Appreciate you so much. And MBLEX Test Prep gifted 1 Mile High Huddle membership. So amazing. He says, and one more. So many big super chat givers in here, and everybody want to say hello to Instagram as well. Just connecting to you guys. Love Instagram. Love all you folks. Facebook, the metaverse, whatever it is. You guys, we definitely prefer you to be on YouTube. Become a member, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But metaverse is not an underdog by any means, Carl.
Yeah. No, we'll take you however we can get you on the show for sure. So we appreciate you guys coming in, however you're coming in. Make sure you guys are getting some comments in there. Like I said, it's game week. It's time for us all to get excited and give us predictions, give us matchups you're excited about, which players you're most excited for this season, which ones maybe have you concerned. I mean, we got a lot of things we can talk about here. So make sure you guys are getting your questions in, comments, and we'll try to get to as much as we possibly can tonight.
Yeah. No doubt about it, Carl. We do have a sponsor, though, we have to talk about before we get going too far here in Underdog this week.
Yeah, and football is back, guys. The Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more.
That's right. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. 5,000. You heard that right. You can play with as little as $1. See if you think you've got a beat on what Bo Nix is going to do or any other Broncos player. Now that you got the depth chart, maybe you get a little lead there. How they're going to do week 1. Make sure you download the Underdog app and win some money soon.
I have so much fun playing Underdog and winning money while watching football. That's pretty cool. That's a touchdown, you guys. Download the app today and sign up with promo code MHuddle to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code MHuddle. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money.
Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Fantastic. I do got to say I liked it a little better when I speed read the spot there at the end. But I just toot my own horn there on that one. Good to see everybody coming in here. Drop a like in the chat if you haven't already done that. Let us know what your predictions are for this upcoming Sunday. We got our guy Chase saying go Broncos. Great to see you, Chase. Hope you're doing well. Happy Tuesday evening to you. String guy coming in here says good evening. All 5 days until real Broncos football. I predict Dobbins will get the start. Peyton will ground and pound for at least 100 yards, and Bryant gets his first NFL touchdown. 100 yards would be incredible. I don't know how long it's been since the Broncos have had a 100-yard rusher. I don't know if they even had one last season off the top of my head. But one thing I will say is the Titans, while they're not a good team, not a good defense, they have talent at defensive tackle. They really are one of the more talented defensive tackle duos in football. Obviously, Jeremy Simmons is probably one of the top 10 defensive tackles in football, and they had Tavondre Sweat, who had an unbelievable rookie season last year. Did he have a pick 6? Also, I remember there was a interception in that really just hideous Cincinnati versus Tennessee game where there was like 17 turnovers, the Will Levis special going on in that one. But I think Sweat had an interception in that one that was unbelievable. You won't see many 400 plus, whatever he is, 350 plus pound players moving like he did in space. So if they can run, maybe this is an outside zone game. Maybe we see that a bit, but I think this is a Bo Nix quick efficiency game more than the run game personally.
Yeah, I had somebody ask me earlier today actually about that of, do you think the outside zone can have some success against the Titans? And I said, actually, if you're going to beat them in the run game, that's where you need to attack the outside. Mm-hmm. They've got, I'm trying to remember who their edge guys are. I mean, they've got Draymond Jones who might play some edge. Joseph Day is another guy that they have out there. And Arden Key, that's the other one. Yeah, he's the one. Run at that guy. He's like 240 pounds and 6'5", 240. You can move that guy. And then maybe have some cutback lanes where maybe you get Sweat moving a little bit too much to the side and he can't make his cutback. And all of a sudden you've got your guy going. I think there's going to be some opportunities. The way I kind of worded it is this is going to be a work in progress. So I could see there being like 4 or 5 really good run plays in this game where you pick up 10 plus yards, but there might also be a lot of them that are like 2 or less yards because you're still trying to figure out where you're supposed to be as a blocker. Your running backs are still figuring out their cues of where they need to be looking to make cutbacks or hit the hole, whatever they need to be doing. And so you're not really going to see whether this experiment is working or not until maybe about halfway through the season. Just because you need to get these reps.
Right, Carl?
What'd you say?
I said as true with most things.
Yeah, it's true. Right? It is. But especially just because you're not having people taken to the ground, it just takes some time to really figure out what works, what actually doesn't work compared to in training camp. So I do think it can work. I just think you're going to see more high variance in this game with the run game.
I do worry with the outside zone and the lack of movement you see from center and left guards / them getting pushed back sometimes, that you might get some stalls in the backfield where you actually don't get that lane to the boundary and everybody moving, because it has to be the unit, everybody moving. But if they attack the left guard and get on the inside shoulder, then everybody else behind him stops, right? They can't move if the guy in the lead is stalled. So we'll see. It might be a little clunky early on, and they do have some mass and power on the interior that can mess things up. Now, maybe you're doing pitches with the outside zone to maybe get a jump start on that, but then you don't really have the best tight end blocking either. So we'll see. I think this is going to be a Broncos defense and quick pass game one for me at the end. We got Ringy Garrett coming in here on Instagram, says, what do you guys think the score will be? I'm going to go with Denver winning this one, a cool, clean 27-13. I think that's a very classic score. That's probably one of the most given scores. That's team winning comfortably in that one. I think probably Denver maybe gives up a touchdown late, but I just can't imagine Cam Ward having very much success on this one. How do the Broncos lose this game? It's the same as many games when you are the more talented team on paper. Turnovers, penalties. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Take care of the football. Bad punts. Another one that's the red flag right now. But Denver should win this football game. They should. It's the NFL. This isn't Ohio State playing Akron out here catching strays. I'm sorry, but it's not that. But Denver should win this football game.
Yeah, I think the only way that the defense gets beat, like I said, some penalties, or there are times where Vance Joseph can get a little too aggressive. Mm-hmm. And maybe there's a big play over the top that wouldn't otherwise happen. I could see maybe that being the case. This is one of those games I'd maybe be a little bit more conservative. Their offensive line, they've rebuilt it, but it's still not a great offensive line. They had to overpay for Dan Moore. Lloyd Cushenberry, we all remember him. He's an average center.
Yep.
The rest of the offensive line's okay. What is better than okay is Michael Ronquillo coming in again, gifting 5 Mile High Huddle memberships. Michael, again, there's no words to describe your support of Mile High Huddle, of this community, to really get as many people involved in this as you possibly can. So we really appreciate that. You are completely awesome. And another one, Naj, coming in here with the 1999 Super. Naj, great to see you, and hopefully we get to see you at the meet and greet. October 19th, right, everybody?
I believe so. I believe so.
We'll be there. So make sure I'm definitely going to be there. Talked to my wife, got it on the schedule. She messaged me. She goes, crap, that's what I'm supposed to be going to my military weekend. And she goes, I'm just going to cancel. So she's all on board with me being there. So, hey, brothers, he says, seems like the entire country is picking us to win big this week. Always hate that setup and prefer being under the radar. That said, this is a great test to see if this team has what it takes with high expectations. Yeah, I mean, and that's Broncos kind of caught everybody off guard last year. And that's kind of the whole thing is when you get into the being in the higher echelon, you have those expectations put on you and you've got to rise to them. And I do think Sean Payton has put this pressure on the team too. He's the one that's come out and said, oh, this is one of my 8 teams I've coached that I think can win a Super Bowl, or 7, whatever he said. And so he's put those expectations. He's put it on Bo Nix. Hey, I think this can be a top 4 or 5 quarterback. And I think he's one of those guys he realizes, like, if you can't rise to the pressure, you probably shouldn't be in the NFL. Like, you're not going to win games unless you can be there to rise to the occasion. And so he's putting it on his team to back up his words. And I do fully believe he has that trust in them. I don't think he's just blowing smoke and be like this big speaker and then hoping it works out okay. Most of the time when he speaks, even if it does come off as cocky or whatever you want to call it, ego, most of the time he's pretty spot on with what he actually says. And so I think this is going to be a good team. You got to beat teams like the Titans. Last year, they handled these kind of games great. Yeah, they were winning these games by 14 plus. And, prediction earlier, mine was going to be 24-10. I think this is one of those games, like I said, defense is going to dominate. You're not going to have to ask the offense to go do a whole lot. So you probably do try to keep it field position, run the ball as much as you can, short pass to kind of complement some of that and not take a ton of risks in this one. You make the Titans have to go beat you instead of you beat yourself.
I could see Sean coming out aggressive early in that and taking some risks just because this is a game that feels like the Broncos are supposed to be here. Titans still kind of figuring themselves out, and they're a young team, new coaching staff, or not a new coaching staff, but a coaching staff that's already on the ropes. And you score a touchdown early. Let's say it's a Troy Franklin, 50-yard bomb out of the gate, and it's already 7-0. Then Cam Ward starts to panic, feeling like he has to play catch up, and it just snowballs from there. So I could see Sean Payton's not typically a conservative coach. I mean, turnovers, negative plays, like he preaches that stuff. We heard it a lot with Russell Wilson, but then Bo Nix as well. So there's a delicate balance, but I could see them coming out being like, we're the big guys here. We're going to show what it's about, and we don't think that when you get punched a few times, you're going to be able to respond. It might spiral for them. One trend I'm really curious to see about this Titans game, and I don't expect it to continue this season. It's just not the norm in the NFL because every team, it's the freaking NFL at the end of the day. You have the wheel of parity eventually where this team beats this team, beats this team, beats this team, beats this team. But Denver last season, I can't think of a single game they lost that was a disappointment as far as we let that one get away or we should have beaten that team. For the most part, and it doesn't always happen this way in the NFL, like I was saying, but for the most part, teams that Denver should have taken care of and handled, they really freaking did. And that was true in the point differential. You saw that at the end of the year. They were way positive on the point differential. Maybe what is the Pythagorean win total super high. Now, they did struggle against some of those playoff caliber teams, contenders. I think the only playoff caliber wins they had were Tampa Bay, which was a weird game, but it counts still the same. Week 3, week 2, week 3. And then also the Chiefs, which that week 18 game, very weird circumstances. But for the most part, they handled teams they should beat. So will that trend continue? We will see. But if last season is any indication, they should beat up on the Titans and take the over on the points for the Broncos.
Yeah, I would. A rookie quarterback starting in their very first game on the road against a unit that should be a top 5 defense. Kind of like last year for the Broncos. I felt bad for Bo Nix. First 2 games on the road against 2 pretty quality defenses, bad crowd or difficult crowds, I should call them, not bad crowds. Yeah. And you could tell like there's that pressure kind of got to him, and it just led to a couple really bad decisions. I could see Cam Ward having that where a couple interceptions or strip fumble, somebody coming around the edge, him trying to hold on to the ball a little bit too long, kind of forgetting that things don't go as slow as they did in college. You've got to get that ball out there a little bit quicker. And in college, he did hold on to the ball. I mean, it worked out pretty well for him there. In the NFL, we'll have to see how that's going to work out. What is working out is having Glenn Ashley check in with us saying, good morning, Nick, Carl, and Broncos country. It's time to ride. Big time pumped for the opener. Let's put the Titans to the sword. Hashtag MHH for life. Hashtag state of being. Let's go Broncos. Yeah. Glenn, good to see you in here. Glad you're joining us. And it's that time. I've been getting pumped. I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to set up my room to watch the game for this one. I might be getting the projector out, get the cloth up on the wall so I can make it as big as possible, and really get some blackout curtains and all those kind of things. I don't know. Might go a little crazy on this one. Just getting excited about the season.
It should be a good one. I am definitely pumped. I'm just ready to get the ball rolling. Watch real meaningful football. Got a lot of people in here. Not super chats necessarily, but we do want to say hello to all our folks in here. Stephen Bumgarner, a member, of course. Great to see you. Roy Osborne over on Facebook. Hey, it's time for football. It absolutely is. Pearl's in the house. Great to see you. Dennis in the house. Great to see you. It's going to be a great year. Absolutely, it is. Happy to have all you in here with us. Gary Neighbors, our guy. Greg Smith, also. Love to see you. George Fox, finally football season. Let's go Broncos. Let's get that first win. Talk about our guys. Patrick. My mom's and dad are in town right now. Daycare, first day unofficially, no more daycare because we're moving here in 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So parents are here to help out and having some wine coffee. And God bless you. You are taking care of the 20-month-old right now. Almost got 21-month-old. Appreciate you. Ernie Mays in the house. Awesome to see you, Ernie. Really do appreciate you. Baby face versus beard. Yeah, I did shave. I did shave. But we'll take it. I'll take the baby face. Fresh face, 33-year-olds. Leroy's in the house. Good evening. The Broncos bringing in some guys for tryout. Deuce Vaughn. They decided to sign on the receiver, the practice squad. Deuce Vaughn would have been a very intriguing signing. I just feel like the running backs like him are such a dime a dozen piece. If like Jaleel McLaughlin had an injury, maybe you talk about Deuce Vaughn at that point. But I don't know. I'm not going to be too upset about Deuce Vaughn or anything like that. Not that you are upset, but I just kind of cycle in and out. Okay, see ya. We'll keep an eye on you. We'll be in contact. I hate this one. Go Cyclones. Can we block this guy here? No, I'm just kidding. That's you guys will probably win, probably by 10. I think Iowa's going to lose.
So, I mean, obviously being here in Kansas, Deuce Vaughn is kind of a decent name that everybody knows. And he was a fun player to watch in college. Some of that, I'm not sure how much it translates to the NFL. You know, RJ Harvey's going to be your big play running back. Are you really wanting to take him off the field to get Deuce Vaughn on the field? I doubt it. I mean, like I said, maybe a good guy to have on the practice squad in case him or McLaughlin go down with injury. Then you've still got a spark plug that can come in and be explosive for you. But right now, I'm with you. I don't see the appeal for this team. I think you've already got a couple of those kind of guys on your roster. But we've got David Youngkin coming in saying, will Sean have a spy on Cam?
I personally think that you don't early on. You try to rush with 4, maybe some different blitzes to confuse him, especially because how much he holds on to the football. If you can get a free rusher at all, you might get a cheap shot. Not a cheap shot. That's wrong. But, open blow to dislodge the football, which is always nice. But I think that's probably a counter you pull if Cam starts beating you with his legs. But Cam Ward wasn't necessarily like this like dynamic runner with the football in his hands. He just used his athleticism to extend the play. So if he was like, you're going up against Lamar Jackson coming out of college or Jalen Milroe, where he's like tucking and running constantly, then maybe that's not really Cam Ward's game. I'd rather have bodies and coverage, maybe mess around with some simulated pressures. And if he starts, pulling it and beating you with his legs, then you can adjust from there. But I don't think you do that out of the gate. Also, not Sean, but Vance Joseph would be the one with the spy there. Not to be pedantic.
I mean, right. I mean, Sean will be part of the game plan coming up with some stuff, but you're right. It'd be more Vance Joseph there. I'm with you. I don't think he's the most, it's not that he doesn't have athleticism. It's just, like you said, it's more to move around in the pocket than to escape. And so right now, I'd rather, like I said, either guy dropping back coverage or him coming on a blitz and hopefully getting that free run where you can make him make a mistake rather than kind of sitting back watching him. It's not that a spy can't be good because, like I said, against guys like Lamar, you need that kind of thing. But otherwise, it kind of feels like you're wasting a body that's just kind of standing there in the middle of the field. And so I'd rather just go ahead and just go ahead. Make him prove it that he can beat you with the legs first. And then we got Mike coming in saying, what's up, Nick, Carl, and Broncos country? Good to see you, Mike.
I just wanted to apologize to Mike about Saturday. Ugh. You guys were on the mountaintop for so long that expected, but I'm not pulling for Caden Proctor. Let's just say that what happened with Iowa there. But it is what it is. Good to see Phil coming in here.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say random stat. This is the first time the Alabama has been outside the top 20 since George Bush Sr. or George Bush Jr. was a president. So they've had a nice run.
Cow. Yeah. That is insane. That is insane. Oh, man. Look out, Kalen DeBoer. Phil McLaughlin. Good evening, Nick and Carl. Is Dobbins going to carry most of the load early? Will Franklin be number 2 by week 6? Buckham, MHH for life. Broncos for life. I think, honestly, people are sleeping on I'm sleeping on him because I'm all of a sudden blanking on the name. 3rd round pick this year, wide receiver, Illinois, Pat Bryant. I feel like Pat Bryant's got just as good of a shot as Franklin to be the number 2 in this offense. So could it be Franklin? For sure. But Bryant seems like somebody with his blocking and his hands and his route running, his physicality, that maybe you see Franklin get like air yards potentially, but I wouldn't be shocked if Pat Bryant emerges by the number 2 and insert comment about Sean Payton doesn't rank them like that. There's going to be snaps for all of them. I know, but I wouldn't sleep on Bryant either. And we'll see with Marvin Mims. I mean, they're going to get touches. So it could be. Appreciate it. As far as Dobbins gaining most of the workload early, I think just because of his pass protection, he is going to default get most of the workload in comparison to Harvey. It's going to be one of those things where Harvey, if he starts, ripping off plays, figure it out. Like even if you lose a little bit of pass protection, if he's just like that explosive and left and right hitting 10 plus yarders or breaking away, you figure it out. But right now, Dobbins probably the safe way to go.
Yeah. this game, like I said, it's such a unique game because of those two interior guys.
Yep.
Dobbins isn't the best at getting to the edge. So I feel like you'd be running Dobbins into the heart of their defense where they could actually have some success. Where Harvey, you could be getting him to the edge and then you could have those explosive plays. And I still probably think in this one it's going to be a 50-50 carries, one have 12, another have 12 or have 11 kind of thing. Like it's going to be actually pretty close in this one, in my opinion. Maybe other games where they don't have those two big guys in the middle.
We do have
Dobbins gets a little more run.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No doubt. Sorry, my internet kind of dropped there for a second. I'm here. Did want to say hello to Ralph saying, haha, great minds think alike. To me, well, I don't know if that's good company for you, Ralph, but I appreciate the kind words. I don't know about great minds. You definitely. Me, not so much. I watched Iowa and thought the quarterback would be better. How stupid am I? We got Stella coming in saying, just got my wisdom teeth taken out today, and this pod is exactly what I need to keep my mind off the pain. Go Broncos. Oh, man. Carl, did you have to have wisdom teeth taken out?
I did. And I remember having the gauze in my mouth and trying to talk. And I guess when I've got the laughing gas, I get very talkative, probably more than what I do here on this show. And so I was talking the entire drive home. And thankfully, my best friend was sitting in the back seat and he was kind of translating for my parents what I was saying. And so I went with him when he got his wisdom teeth taken out. And all I remember is the nurses were talking about how, you need to keep him in a seat, give him some time to recover. And my friend gave me that look like I'm making a break for it. And he just took off in a dead sprint and had to be tackled by nurses. So Stella, hopefully that's not what happened to you. And I'm glad that we could bring at least a little bit of joy amidst your tough time with your wisdom teeth. Hopefully you recover quickly and not too much pain along the way. Nope. Is Nick's internet having some problems?
My internet's
here?
kind of giving its. They're probably watching Miss Rachel or something upstairs. Lord only knows. I might have to text them to stay off internet here if that's happening. But hopefully a better internet in Denver. You think Seattle would be good, but goodness, the Wi-Fi not so much sometimes. But no, we're good. We're here. Shout out to Miss Rachel, I guess, for that one. Free pub, new season on Netflix. We did want to get into the depth chart though, Carl. The Broncos did release their unofficial depth chart, and I will say not too many surprises off the cuff for me. The big surprise, not big necessarily, but we do have a surprise. It's Alex Palshetsky, backup guard now, fully left guard and right guard, with Crum listed as the starting right tackle. So my question for you, you have a tackle go down, knock on wood. We don't want it to happen. I know McGlinchey's had a rough go first season, but it was pretty good last season. I feel like people it's unfortunate for offensive linemen because when they do their job and they're good, people don't talk about them unless they're like first ballot Hall of Fame All-Pro, which McGlinchey was good last season. Superstar? No. Good, but we only crap on offensive linemen or pay attention when they're bad. But if McGlinchey goes down, do you expect Crum to be the starter since it's listed that way, or is it just kind of a de facto Palshetsky is your first guy off the bench unless it's a center?
I think he's going to be the first one off the bench for the either guard spot or the right tackle spot. I do not think that he'd be first guy. He's gotten not left tackle. I think that would be perfect. I think he's he's done pretty well. I think he's improved from last year, from what I saw in preseason at least. He looked like he was very comfortable at left tackle. I don't remember really him giving up a pressure in the preseason. Maybe he did, and maybe I missed it, but I just remember thinking, man, this guy looks very, very solid over there. Now he's not going to move people in the run game a ton or anything like that, but he did. He looked very, very solid. So I have no problem with him there. But Palshetsky, I think he's really proven he can play multiple positions. I think they really like him. I think they see that he could maybe be a future guy for them, either on the interior. Let's say move on from Ben Powers. Boom, you got a plug and play guy there that you can maybe feel comfortable with. That I think could be better, especially if they're going to be switching to this outside zone. Ben Powers came from Baltimore where they run a lot of power. You got Lamar Jackson, boom, let's just run it straight forward. I think he's the one offensive lineman that I worry about the most this year. making this change. I just don't know if he has that the quick feet to get to his spot like you'd want him to. Well, I could be wrong, and I hope I am, but he's the one I could be seeing have a little bit of problem there. And so I do think, like I said, Paljeski, first guy off the bench. I think another spot that was pretty intriguing to me is
Offense?
the offense. Yes, is Marvin Mims, receiver number 2. I expected it, but it's going to be interesting to see the different formations. How much do you really use Marvin Mims on offense when he's still your special teams guy? So he's not going to be getting as many snaps on offense as you would like for a number 2. But that's, again, where that whole rotation, Sean Payton, probably of every offensive mind out there, one of his biggest weapons that he likes to use is formations. He will, in the first 15 plays, he might use 12 different formations, just making a defense have to prepare and everybody head on a swivel. Oh, they're going big package. We got to get our linebackers out there. Oh, nope. Now they're going to 4 wide. We've got to, and so you've got people running in and out, and everybody's got to be on their game. Who's supposed to be in there? Who's not supposed to be in there? And he tries to catch people napping and maybe get them in an advantageous situation where maybe they're playing dime and you've got a big package and boom, we can just run it straight forward and go have some fun. So like you said earlier, the number 2 wide receiver, maybe I'm putting too much into this of Marvin Mims being number 2, because it is going to be more of a situational. Oh, it's 3rd and 7 at our own 20-yard line. We'd like to see Franklin run deep, see if they take the safety with him. If they don't, boom, we've got one-on-one. Maybe we hit a really big play down the field.
Yeah.
Maybe we have 3rd and 3. We only need a little bit for a first down. Bryant is coming in, being that guy to catch a tough one over the middle. There's just going to be so much that he's going to try to really change up depending on the situation that he couldn't do last year.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. I will be curious. I'm bringing it back to the main question about if it will be Crum, just because of how Sean Payton spoke so highly of Crum, and you leaned on it earlier about the run game. And Crum is definitely he struggles in pass protection right now, but he is a unit in the run game. So it'll be interesting to follow. The last one I want to point out here, and it's just because I don't know if it was in the live stream or if it was behind closed doors, but I was like, I think Tyler Bidet might be running back 3, and they might cut Jaleel then. But Eric's like, no, Jaleel's definitely running back 3. I know it's the unofficial depth chart, but I do want to point out Tyler Bidet is listed number 3 over Jaleel McLaughlin.
That's right.
It's
Take that
3A
Eric.
and 3B, whatever. But I just want to, Eric, if you're listening, take that. Yeah. It's just alphabetical as well. It's my last name. No, but other than that, really no surprises on the offensive side of the ball. We do have Jay coming in. Let's switch it over to defense in a second here. He says, what's holding up with the Benito contract? I really don't know. I mean, Benito, he's not like a alpha tier pass rusher or edge defender. He's a top pass rusher, but the run defense here or there doesn't really have the counters as much, and had a pretty good season last year with some cleanup stuff, which still, again, valuable. Like if you have a quarterback escaping and Benito ends the play, how often do you see a quarterback escape and then hit a 30-yard play? So there's it's not to degrade by any means, but he's not, Micah Parsons, Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, that kind of contract. I've been calling for $28 million per year. The Josh Allen, Hines, Brian Burns contract. I don't know if Micah Parsons' contract changes that a bit. Now we're talking 29-30. But I'm guessing Benito's camp was probably also waiting to see what happened with Micah Parsons / Trey Hendrickson. Those 2 big contracts as well that could change things. Also, another factor for Broncos waiting is they got Jonah Ellis in house, and could provide to be a starting qualifier edge. And then you make a tough decision there. Like, would you rather pay Benito $30 million a year or pay John Franklin Myers 13 and have another 17 to play with to pass around, maybe for an offensive lineman, maybe for receiver, another defensive lineman. I don't know. So it's tough. Denver is going to be entering good problems here soon. I wish they would just have it done, right? Just to have it in the back and everybody feeling good about it. Something that both sides can be happy about, but I don't know. I'm hoping we get some clarity here soon.
Yeah. I think the other part of that, you get a 3rd round comp pick, possibly. if
That's
you
not
do
enough.
let him.
That's not enough.
It's not enough. No, I mean, it's,
yeah.
I guess that's true. You could tag and trade, but no, I think both sides seem very motivated to get something done. Neither side seemed to be panicking about them being too far off on their contract talks or anything like that. And it was about this time last year. I think it was actually the day off of the week leading up to the first game when the Patrick Surtain contract got done. Today is the day off. So heck, it wouldn't surprise me if in the middle of this show, somebody posted in the chat, hey, Bonito signed 4-year contract kind of thing, or 5-year contract, whatever. It would not shock me one bit. So I do think that they're going to get something done, whether it's now or middle of the season. I don't know. I mean, it could be where Bonito's side is the one that's holding this up and saying, we want to go have him play 8 games and go prove that last year was not a fluke, that he really is one of the top echelon pass rushers in the league and deserves to get closer to that $35-40 million a year. It could be that. Yeah. I know earlier in the offseason when they were talking, it did sound like it was more Bonito's camp holding it up than the Broncos, because Bonito was waiting for these couple contracts to get done to really see, okay, now the franchise tag really just went up big time with these last couple contracts added to the total. That's going to make it a little bit tougher for the Broncos. Like I said, maybe raised it a couple million.
Yeah. Hopefully it gets done soon. Just keeping our eyes and ears out on that. And heck, maybe we hear something tomorrow. But good to see you, Jay. Hope you're doing well. Always good to see Jay. Really excited for the season, Carl. I know I said it a few times, but we've been covering this team since 2017, and it's been a pit of misery for the most part. This feels like the most tangible, baked in reality excitement we've had since we've been covering the team. So it's fun to be on this journey with you all. We are going to wrap up here pretty soon. Good to see Quentin Caldwell coming in. Hey, everybody. Good to see you, Quentin. Talk about Curly Hair Gang. Oh, go ahead.
I did want to give you some random facts, I guess, just to kind of show how far this team has come. Do you know which quarterback is on the Titans practice squad right now that used to be a starter for the Broncos?
No idea.
Trevor Siemian.
Oh my God. Okay.
So used to be our starter, now can barely make the practice squad of the Titans. Just shows how far this roster has come. Draymond Jones is another guy that's on their team. I'm very glad that I was wrong about the Broncos letting him go and signing Zach Allen. That has worked out really well for the Broncos.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember some other names that they have on their team that are ex-Broncos. Cody Barton.
Yep.
Yeah. Another guy that we were not too disappointed to go see leave for another team. I mean,
they have somebody else who's started a game for the Broncos, I think, maybe, or at least played. Brandon Allen, right? Oh yeah, somebody in the comments here got it already. Brandon Allen, the backup quarterback out there. Was Brandon Allen the one who had tried to stretch his hands coming out of Arkansas? Like, I remember the whole hoopla about his hand grew 3/4 of an inch or something. And Cushenberry.
Mm-hmm. So they got a lot of ex-Broncos. Cushenberry is probably the one of all the players that they have that are ex-Broncos. I mean, Cushenberry is not a great center, but I would take him over Wattenberg right now.
It's probably negligible. I mean,
I agree. I don't think it's like a huge upgrade for the Broncos, but I think it's at least a little bit of one that he's probably the only one that I'd be like, yep, bring him back. Otherwise, Draymond Jones, other than like Wazirike, Jackson, those kind of guys at the very end of the roster, if they had like exact same contract, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, maybe Draymond Jones. Otherwise, the other ones, I'm keeping them over him. Cody Barton, maybe, I don't know. I kind of like our linebackers. I think there's some youth that can maybe become something in the future. Our 2 starters are definitely better than Cody Barton. So, and I like Sternad because he actually helps out on special teams, has some starting experience. I thought he did okay last year. So again, I think just looking at that, it makes me feel so much better. You were talking about us being at this since 2017. Looking at what we've become since then, going from Trevor Siemian to Bo Nix, having a chance at a guy that could be a top 10 quarterback compared to crap. We've got a bottom 5 quarterback that now we've got to overcome with great defense, some great bounces going our way, that kind of stuff just to win games. Now we can win multiple ways, whether it be defense dominates. I think eventually the run game will be enough to go win some games if you need them to. Pass game, I think, is definitely got a chance to go do some things for you this year. So yeah, it feels good to finally be talking about a possible winning organization again.
Been too long, man. Been way too long. Did want to talk about the defense here before we wrap up. Getting out of here completely. Nothing too crazy with the defense. The one thing I will point out that was maybe not a disappointment, but you see Jordan Jackson and Ioma Uwazurike listed over Savion Jones. I probably expect Savion Jones to be a game day inactive because of that listing there. So hopefully down the track, you're hoping that Savion can develop into a starter. But right now he is very deep on the depth chart. I do expect the Broncos to keep 5 active edge rushers because they have Q Robinson listed 3rd string, but his special teams value probably lean into him being a player as well there. And other than that, I guess the bigger shock, not necessarily too big, but Jahdae Barron back up to Jaquan McMillan and Patrick Surtain. There'll be plenty of snaps to go around, I think, at the end of the day. But Jahdae, Broncos first round pick, not a starter out of the gate.
I'm okay with it. I mean, Patrick Surtain was 3rd on the depth chart for week 1 of his rookie season. And obviously he's turned into something pretty good for the Broncos. So I'm not going to read too much into it. I do think that Barron did struggle quite a bit there in the preseason. He was really good in run support, coming down, making tackles. That part of his game is definitely there. I think it's just the more trusting his eyes and what he's seeing. Right now, he just looks a little bit hesitant to really believe what he's supposed to be doing. And so I think once the full understanding of the picture for him, when his head stops swimming with all the information trying to come at him, I think he'll be fine. I'm really not too worried at this point. And it gives you a nice depth piece that eventually could become a starter if you need him to down the road, maybe 4 or 5 games if somebody gets hurt. You know, Riley Moss has had a couple injury concerns. So I'm not worried yet. But let's say we get to week 4 and everybody knock on wood, Riley Moss does have an injury and Barron's not the next guy in. Then I'm going to be like, uh-oh, what's going on with this rookie that we're now getting to Chris Abrams' drain to be the next guy in. That might be a little bit of a problem. I do like him. I like Cat. I think he's a really good corner for a backup. But still, when you've got a first round pick and he can't even make it in when there's an injury, there's something going on there.
Yeah, good to see you. Big E, I don't know what's going on, but you're coming up as Big E Bronco here. So hopefully that's right. Good to see you. Talking about offense draft. You guys are already getting in the draft as well. Can't believe show's still going on. Hopefully that's a positive just because how long we've been around here, Nathan, not the fact that we're, lame
these
and
guys
stink. But you guys, God, I can't believe it. Boo! No, it's all good. Phil asking if there's any hope for the Iowa quarterback. As soon as he puts on that Fryhawk, there's no hope, seems like, unfortunately. That's kind of the point I'm getting here. Luckily, the Broncos have a quarterback and a team to get into. So really, other than that, Carl, I mean, nothing too revealing about the depth chart. I think it's kind of fun that Riley Moss is listed as the backup punt returner. So there's that, I guess. Obviously, he had a lot of pick sixes during his days at Iowa. Hands team out there. So hopefully we never have to see that come to fruition. But shout out to Riley Moss, the backup punt returner. And yeah, nothing too crazy as far as the Titans game. We do have to wrap up. I got to get going here. Dinner time with the family and the kids, and my parents are in town from Iowa. But I'm excited for this game. Like we talked about it. Run the football, take away the running game, make Cam Ward beat you, and just let him spiral. As the first game for a quarterback, we saw how Bo Nix looked the first 6 weeks for the most part last season. Looked like swimming. That first game especially, just throwing it beyond the line of scrimmage, everything felt like, oh my God, is that going to be a pick six? So hoping for something like that from Ward. I'm expecting the Broncos country to be energized. And it's still August 19th, the next world. Yeah, I haven't changed that in a bit. I'm sorry about that. I'm in a summer mind still. I'll have to update that. Good call. But I think, yeah, Broncos win. What I say, 27-13. That's what my heart says.
Yeah.
And I expect it to be an emphatic 27-13. One thing I will say, and I just want to give Broncos country not a warning here, but just kind of it's the NFL. And we're calling, Denver should win this game big time. They're a much better team. If Denver wins this game 21-20, there's going to be things to work on. And, we want to nitpick and everything. But at the end of the day, this isn't style points college football. You win 2-0, you win 100-3. Counts the same in the standings. So walk out healthy, walk out with a win. Well, things to work on and pick on regardless. But just because we're playing the Titans at home and everybody's really excited right now, don't forsake a win no matter how it comes.
Right. I mean, you look at the Chiefs last year.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot of really close wins against bad teams. And they still went to the Super Bowl. So it's not, like I said, it's not a beauty contest for the NFL. You win, it counts. End of the year, they're going, oh, you're 11-6 instead of 10-7. This is the ranking you get. I'll take it. And so I'm expecting a win. I do expect a big win, but so many things can happen. It's supposed to be raining, so maybe a ball slips that otherwise wouldn't. A fumble here can make things a little bit more interesting. Like I said, a bad punt all of a sudden should have been making them go 60 yards for a touchdown. Now they're only having to go 40. That can really change the whole dynamic of a game. And weather and turnovers can be that equalizing factor on some things. And I'm not expecting it, but I always get nervous. Like I'm always excited at this point, and then I get to like Saturday and I'm like, oh crap, this could happen, that could happen. And then I'm a nervous wreck when that game actually starts until that first time the Broncos, if first drive, they go down, score a touchdown, then I might relax a little, go, okay, we're good. They got this. But until then, I'm probably going to get more and more nervous as we get closer to Sunday.
I'm just excited to get here. Excited to hang out with you today, Carl. Excited for everybody in the chat, killing it. All the new members coming in here, all the super chats. Papa Bear, David Youngkin, Michael Ronquillo, of course. MLB Test Prep, Naj in the house, Glenn Ashley, David Youngkin, Phil McLaughlin, Ralph, Stella. Hope you're doing better with your wisdom teeth. Appreciate all of you coming in. Will Knicks be accurate? Yes. I'm hoping so. We're calling it. Didn't see anybody calling for a Tennessee win in here, so excited for all of that. Do I have a prediction for Iowa, Illinois? Illinois wins. I don't think Iowa's going to be very good this year. 6-6, 7-5. We'll see. They got to prove me wrong. I'm very cynical of those Hawks right now. I just don't think they're going to be very good this year. But excited for the Broncos. Carl, next time we talk, it'll be hopefully the Broncos will be 1-0. So that'll be awesome. No big two surprises in the depth chart, and just excited to watch Broncos football. Appreciate everyone. Make sure you're following Carl and I on Twitter. Carl's at Carl Dumler MHH. I'm at Nick Kendell MHH. We're also at Mile High Huddle over on X. You guys can follow us there. Facebook.com/Mile High Huddle and Facebook.com/Mile High Huddle pod. And as that ticker says there underneath, if it'll go, there we go. Subscribe, like, and share over on YouTube. Make sure you guys become a member today as well as while we're talking about YouTube. Join us the best way you can follow us. Carl, final thoughts, words before we wrap it up here.
Calvin Ridley will have 12 yards receiving.
Wow.
Just put Patrick Surtain on him the entire game and say, good luck. All your other weapons have to beat us. And we're going to put this guy in man coverage against the defensive player of the year. That's what I want to see. And just really make Cam Ward as uncomfortable as possible by taking that number one wide receiver, bringing some blitzes. And I think they're going to walk away looking pretty good by the end.
Heck yeah. Well, it's good to see you, Shiloh. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Always appreciate the dog picture. You guys stay safe. Always choose kindness and compassion. Next time we see you, we'll have some Broncos football to talk about. Appreciate you. Have a good one. Go Broncos.